welcome to the new video format. My issue is it's a new video format inspired by Luke Stevenson, others. We'll be talking about various issues, stuff that just doesn't seem right. We'll be covering anime, sports, movies, games, all that jazz. Just stay tuned. Every week we release a new video. Mainly Mondays, but depends when I get around to editing them. Never done a video like this before, so it's going to be a very fun experiment. Today we'll be discussing when newer games, AAA games, just going stale, getting really shit to be fair. We'll be keeping the PC down to absolute zero, because fuck it. During this video we'll be talking about AAA games just getting staler, more unoriginal, just because of the pressure dealt on studios. Because game prices are rising massively. It's just, I can't fathom how much pressure it takes on a developer now to make sure we got to make as much more money than they've put into this project, and the amount of flops there could be is enormous. So games are just getting more stale as it is. Valhalla, you got an original there. This is a tries to be an action RPG like every other open world RPG there is, but you don't understand how stale it gets because it's trying to copy other games, not being original. So games like the Assassin's Creed series changed from a stealth genre because that was dying to an action open world RPG. Like we're starting with Origin. So it's just the amount of games is just hurting it. We have games like Fortnite, PUBG, then because they made a lot of money, companies started jumping on the bandwagon. They started with, I believe it was Blackout? Yeah, Blackout 4 COD. I jumped on it, pretty good game. Just was not, it was made the centerpiece of the new of Black Ops 4, which really hurt the game. Didn't hurt in sales, hurt it quality wise. You had Modern Warfare, the next one. It got worse because the whole game was centered on making as much money for Warzone. So it's just, these games are getting hurt by trying to incorporate other games' ideas, which is wasn't a bad thing, because if it works, it works. But trying to copy a new game, making it unoriginal, is hurting the game genre. So games like Battle Royale games are just becoming copy-paste images of themselves. It's just trying to invite new events. It's just loot boxes make it worse. It's just a huge issue that won't be fixed by AAA games. AAA games are just slowly dying when it comes to creativity. Not money-wise, they make a shit ton, but in creativity standards, they are dying completely. On researching for this video, I came across a article on gamesindustry.biz where Sean Layden had his opinion on how the games industry is becoming unsustainable, and we'll need to start rethinking the AAA industry. So when he spoke, he mentioned how games maybe 10 years ago, would cost about $1 million to make. Still a lot of money, but easily made back if the game was good. But nowadays, due to graphical upgrades, new technology, and the industry norm for a AAA game, it costs between $80 million and $150 million on average. And remarking that the problem with that model is just not sustainable, which clearly it isn't, because the profit margin you'd have to make would be astronomical. He also noted, despite the increase in development costs, the retail price for games have, for the most part, remained the same over the last 25 years, around the $60 mark. Since he started in the game industry, the cost of games has gone up 10 times, meaning it's staying at the same price point, but making the actual game is becoming more and more expensive as the years go on. He started 25 years ago. If the price point doesn't go up, the cost line just becomes more difficult. I think this generation is going to see two imperatives collide. So between quality and the actual money made, profit. Fuck's sake. He continues to go on about why AAA games cost so much. He talks about the longer the run times. Developing a 30-hour game would cost twice as much as a 15-hour game in terms of manpower alone. Factor the cost of the latest technology and the numbers bound to swell. Personally, then he states, personally, as an older gamer, I would welcome return to 12 to 15-hour AAA games. I would finish more games first of all, and just like a well-edited piece of literature or movie, look at the discipline around. So mainly because he worked for PlayStation as an executive, he's probably referring to games like The Last of Us, Uncharted, shorter games, smaller games, but with a lot more passion created into it because they can. They can use a lot more time to create more detailed worlds and just more lived in worlds with better stories. As I stated previously, games are becoming harder to create an original product because every big company needs to jump on the trend to make as much money as they can. Talking about open world RPGs with hundreds of hours into it, battle royales, loot boxes, and just games centered on making money. There's hardly any originality into the industry. Where there is exceptions to the rule, of course, for AAA games, such as Persona 5, arguably one of the greatest games ever. Simple as that. It is so good. If you haven't played it, I'd give it a try. Death Stranding, which has been memed as a Amazon walking simulator, but it's just, it tells an amazing story. It gives you hours of rebuilding America, which is an interesting concept. It's been done before, but not to the degree of Death Stranding, because Hideo Kojima is one of the weirdest and greatest game directors of all time, which helps with the originality aspect. And Witcher 3, which is a game series just based on Andrzej Sapkowski's work, which again, Witcher 3 is arguably the greatest game ever, just because of the story, the characters, the narrative, I wouldn't say the combat, but the combat's not bad. It's just throws you into a world where it feels like magic exists, but is also absolutely feared. So, continue with the topic of the conversation. The game, AAA games, is just getting harder to create. Like, be creative is just very difficult. Even the three games I just mentioned there all carry on with bad aspects of what I'm speaking about, but they throw a creative twist into it. But games like Call of Duty, FIFA, Madden, NBA, see the list carries on. But even Battlefield has issues. It's just, but games in the double A genre with middling budgets have to create amazing games, unbelievable games. Have to try and wrap you around, like Hades, a game centered on Zagreus, the son of Hades, the demigod, I want to say, because he's not as powerful as a god, but he is a god. You get what I mean? But it is Hades is a roguelike action dungeon crawler, which is done before by plenty of developers. However, what Supergiant Games throw onto it is the intriguing story and how Zagreus is set out to meet his mother Persephone, and has to continue going to meet her. Spoiler warning here, but then dying because he can't live outside of out of the underworld. So every time he has to fight through these countless hordes of enemies and upgrade his powers, getting the help of the gods of Olympus, just so he can keep fighting and to understand what's going on. It is an unbelievable game. If you haven't played it, it is on Game Pass. It's so good. I recommend playing it. But either way, these games are just becoming harder and harder to find. But AA games are doing it constantly, like a Plague Tale Innocence. Wonderful game about two siblings trying to get through a plague-ridden Spanish Empire, I believe it was. Don't correct me if I'm wrong there, but they're continuing to try and make their way to safety, try and get out of this situation. And you have games like the Xbox game that came out for its launch in God, 2.6, trying to remember it. The Medium. It's a game with literally 2 points of views, which could only be done on a powerful console. However, it's still a AA game because the budget wasn't high, but it still created an unbelievably, I wouldn't say scary, but intriguing horror game, which caught the eye. I don't even like horror games, and this one interested me because of the story and the creativity behind it. When I first heard of it, I was not interested because of that. Then I found out about the split game element of just seeing two paths, two views, but on a different plane of existence. Because the woman can be in real life, then a horror world, spirit world, I guess. It's just these games are becoming too few because they don't have the budget for creativity. So the more they have to create intriguing stories, they have to create new mechanics and games like let's use Assassin's Creed as an example because I've used that. But the budget Ubisoft has, and with the name Assassin's Creed, they could create fucking most wackiest shit on the planet, and it would still turn out amazing. Like Psychonauts 2, that was contender for Game of the Year, and because Microsoft's behind it, the budget was basically unlimited. Microsoft really care about their games nowadays, really care about their consumers. That's why they make a loss on the Xbox, but they sell for the Game Pass. Microsoft are helping create a new age and hoping this leads to new AAA games being more creative, less stale. Splitgate, that was a great game. It's at most a AA. I think it's still in pre-game launch because it's not. I don't think it's finished yet, and it's still the most interesting shooter I've played in a long time. The portal mechanic with the Halo mechanic. Halo was still probably the best example for a creative shooter. It doesn't make it stale with fucking army versus army, conventional warfare, everything like that. Those games are good, but overall, it's a stale market. No, correct me if I'm wrong, but not many people want to play that anymore. Where you have the new Battlefield, which looks great, might buy it, not sure yet, but still. And with games rising from 60 to 70 due to the pricing of the new consoles, trying to make a profit, and it's becoming harder. So, but they also want to make sure the consumer can buy it, because if they can't buy it, what's the point? What's the point in rising the price? So, the more games that come out, the harder it comes. So you've got the FIFA franchise, which literally gets memed for being the exact same game every year. They add like the tiniest new thing, and it's worth 70 quid, which it's just not. PES, the Pro Evolution Soccer is a great advocate for consumer-friendly products. When we were going through the pandemic, they included just upgrades. Instead, you pay, I think it was 20 quid, and you can upgrade the game to PES 21. It would be, and all the new games just sorted. FIFA's more, but EA want to make money, which makes sense. But they also made one of the best remasters I've ever played in my life, the new Assassin's Creed, Mass Effect, apologies. And that Mass Effect was absolutely fucking class, I want to say. You know, these games don't help themselves. More people buy it if it's intriguing, so it benefits them, but it's also a big risk. That's the issue. That's my issue with it. But I'm not a game developer. I don't pay people to make games. We've had a lot of flops over the last 5 years. Also had a lot of successes. Again, you had the Persona franchise, you had Death Stranding, you had the Witcher franchise, you've had plenty of others, which I just can't name off the top of my head, but they've just been class. Again, Psychonauts 2. These games are just intriguing. Companies pay a lot of money for them to be made, and because they're interesting, fun, and people just want to play it, they just go, there you go, and the word of mouth helps. But they also have to spend money on advertisement, and so the price racks up from the 80 to 150 million, I've said before, to maybe 400 million. But that's more due to making a new game franchise. But that's just a theory. I'm not saying that I don't want to get sued. Theory. But yeah, just thank you for hearing my thoughts about the industry. I don't really know of a way to make it better. It's up to the developers. It's up to everyone else. But as soon as they figure out a way to get rid of, it's Dark Souls, it's like Skyrim, it's like Witcher, it's basically Fortnite but COD. As soon as I get rid of all those elements, trying to get rid of copying each other, just competing in a way to make a new original game series, then I think the game industry, AAA industry, will be saved. But they also need to figure out a way to make a more sustainable model than here's nearly 200 mil, go make his 100-hour open world where the players would just get lost, not because they're interested, because they've just spent 70 quid on a game, so they want to finish it. It's the issue. Thank you for watching, lads. Please like and subscribe to the channel. This video is a new format I'm making. I've never done it before, so let me know in the comments how I can improve. I've got a Twitch where I stream pretty much every day. I've got a Twitter where I just tweet random crap. I've got Instagram where I don't really do much with Instagram, kind of playing. I've got I've just if you'd like to help me out with anything, just let me know. If you'd like to follow the Twitch, links in the description, with the Twitter. But please like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you thought this was a decent idea. If yes, I'll be probably posting more. I think next week's I plan to do my issue with remakes and remasters in cinema. Not remasters, sequels in cinema. So please tune in next time. Please hit the bell icon if you want to find out when I've got a new video up. The editing will be poorly done, I bet you any money, but thank you. Bye.